Can you hear me now, please? You should be able to hear me now. Yes, perfect. Thank you. Once again, I apologize for this minor technical problem. Again, my name is Boštjan Brumen. I'm from the Faculty of Tourism. I'm the Dean of the faculty, coming from University of Maribor, from Slovenia, a country in Europe. Slovenia, as you can see, is the only country in the world with word love in its name. So yes, we're trying to behave the way our country is composed of. So with love, with everything. A brief update on the COVID situation. First of all, we, as of yesterday, we are fully live again. So most of our lectures are in classrooms already as of yesterday. Before that, it was in classroom and live. Both were available, but now all lectures returned to live in class procedure. And it will last for about 1 month, then we start with the examination period. So the final month will be given live. Regular intake is possible. It was possible in the previous year. It is continuing for the coming year, and it will continue for next year. Our embassy in Delhi was open all the time for students. It was not open for anything else but for our students and in emergency services, actually. So students were getting embassy interviews, and the visa processing was done as if nothing happened. So still during COVID times, we had the regular 3-month application to approval time. So don't worry, the situation is getting better in Europe in general, in our country in particular, and we are fully open and fully operating. A little bit of information about Slovenia. Slovenia is an extremely small country with an extremely small population, about 2 million, so the size of Kochi, city of Kochi in Kerala, 1/10 of the size of Mumbai, for example. But nevertheless, we have our own country, we have our own politics, parliament, and everything else that belongs to a country. Because we're so small, we have very relatively very short connections to our neighbors. For example, it's only 2 hours to Venice in Italy, only 2 hours to Vienna in Austria, and it's about 5 hours to Munich in Germany or Milano, larger cities in Germany, Italy. It is maybe 6 hours drive, 6.5 hour drive to France. In 6.5 hours you would get to Prague in Czech Republic. In 10 hours you're in Berlin, driving or taking a bus or taking a train. So the connection is really good to neighboring countries. The population, as you see, is really small, and the size of the country is really small, but nevertheless we are a full country. What is specific to our country, that we are, of course, the members of European Union. We are members of United Nations, Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development, the so-called OECD, or the other word is the Rich Countries Club. We're a member of North Atlantic Treaty Organization, the NATO, and we have Euro as our currency. And as is very important for you and your parents, Slovenia is one of the safest places on Earth based on the World Peace Index. I'll give you the numbers a bit later. The population, as you can see, the average age is 43 years. That is almost double of what is in India. Why am I telling you this? This means that we need young workers, that we need young population. That means that we are accepting young prospective students to come to our country uh, to get quality education and maybe to stay with us. That is up to you later on. Uh, we have a rather small density, 100 people per square kilometer. You can see that the literacy rate is extremely high. The 0.3% refers to persons that are simply not able due to their disabilities, mental disabilities, or sometimes physical disabilities to get literate. Otherwise, everybody in Slovenia is literate. And we're not talking only about basic literacy, we're talking about functional literacy, being able to speak English language and everything else. If you will Google some of the key numbers for Slovenia, you'll see that we have extremely low infant deaths per 1,000 births. So only less than two infants are born dead at the delivery. That means also our health care system is functioning, it's working, and it's working good. And the life expectancy is quite high. For example, in Hong Kong, where it's the highest, we're only 3.5 years behind. So we're again top 10 countries in the world based on the life expectancy. That means that our environment is extremely clean and safe, so people can live long. Why is all this possible? Because we have the so-called high taxes and good public services principle. Okay, we can discuss whether it's good or not, but never in the times of COVID we had any problems, for example, with our healthcare system. It was working normally. Okay, in hospitals they had some peaks and they had some problems, minor problems, but no person was left untreated. Everybody that needed um, urgent medical attention got it. So there were still free beds we were offering, for example, to other countries that were not able to cope with the situation. We offered some services to them as well. What does it mean, high taxes? It means that we have a free education from first year of primary school all the way and including masters. Kindergarten, so below K1, is heavily subsidized. You are in principle paying just for one child, and depending on your salaries. So if you have a low salary, then kindergarten is free for low income parents as well. The more you earn, the higher you pay the kindergarten. So the whole primary and secondary and university education is for free. The only thing that our residents have to pay is actually the PhD, which runs between 3,000 and 5,000 euros per year. Most study programs do have enough placements, except of course medicine, which is limited all over the world, and some policing programs and stuff like that. The healthcare is free for all. Of course, it's not for free. We're paying taxes, and they're deducting automatically of employers and employees' salary. So we both are paying. So me as an employee and my employer. But for return, as I said, we get full and free healthcare. I don't have to pay for any medicine that I need. So I just take a prescription at my doctor, go to the pharmacy, and I get the medicine for free. If I want to have some special treatment, of course, I have to pay for it. But in principle, the basic level healthcare is taken care of. Why am I talking this to you? Simply because you as students get the same benefits as we, the residents of the country. It is true that you will need your own healthcare insurance, but based on your healthcare insurance, you will get the same services as we get. So no difference. Uh, as I mentioned, Slovenia is extremely safe country based on the global peace index. You can Google it. In 2019, it was 8th safest country in the world. You can see it. It's on approximately the same level as Singapore, Canada, Denmark, Austria, but way ahead of Switzerland, Australia, even Finland, for example, not to mention Germany or other countries, Sweden, for example. This in principle means nothing will ever happen to you. There is extremely low crime rate in Slovenia. Murders are extremely rare, and they usually happen inside families, so they're not targeted against unknown people. They're not a result of for example, gang violence or anything like that. We simply don't have it. That's why our ranking on the such rank list is quite high. So why would you as a student choose Slovenia as your study abroad destination? I mentioned earlier we have government subsidized student services, and not only this. We University of Maribor, I'll talk about our university a bit later, but we are a public university. So in principle, the government is paying for all our salaries, for all our utility bills, for water, electricity, everything else. So all this is covered. Me as a professor, me as a dean, I don't have to care about anything, because we get monthly so-called paycheck from the government. Everything is covered. That's why we can afford quite low tuition fees for our foreign students. And interestingly, subsidized services are available also for our foreign students. So, for example, food, we have a so-called food coupon system. Foreign students are entitled to these services as well. Another interesting option for Slovenia is that full-time work is possible. Which is not really full-time, not equivalent to full-time employment. So employment is not possible for students, but full-time work is. So what's the difference? You just don't get the status of employee, not the full status. You do get a status of employee because you get your insurances included. Health and social securities are included in student work. So the minimum wage currently is at 5 euros per hour. So no company can pay you less than 5 euros per hour. And if you want, you can work full time, 200 hours per month or more if you want, earning more than minimum wage in Slovenia. Minimum wage in Slovenia is currently around 800 euros. You can, as a student, earn much more than a minimum wage. And this is only the government prescribed minimum wage. You can get much more than 5 euros per hour. 5 euros per hour is usually low paid jobs like moving furniture or relocation services, where just physical strength is in it and nothing else. It is true that up to 3,800 euros per year is not taxable. Everything else, you will pay taxes as Slovenian residents. That is the rule at the moment. But up to 3,800 euros that you earn during your stay in Slovenia per year is not taxable. Why would you choose University of Maribor? Simply because it's one of the top 500 best universities in the world. That increases your opportunities for your career. your diploma is internationally recognized. You will have absolutely no problems getting a job with our diploma. We have currently 13,000 students. 4% of this number is international students. Average number of students per staff is 15.4 university-wide. Our faculty rate is 10 to 1. So 10 students to 1 staff. This is a very good competitive students per staff ratio. And interestingly, we have more girls studying in Slovenia in general and at our university in particular. I will talk about our faculty now. Our Faculty of Tourism is a part of University of Maribor. Being part of university gives you worldwide recognition of diploma. It gives us the whole international network that is available within the university. We are full members of Erasmus exchange program, and of course, being a full university gives a full student life, nightlife, student parties, and everything else that belongs to that. Student services in terms of sports, culture, everything else. What is interesting about our faculty is that it's located in a very close proximity to the Slovenian's largest spa. That means that we have highly interactive studies with hands-on experience. So our study program is created such that half of the study program is theory-based, so you learn from the books and other materials, and the other half is completely practical. So if you want to pass an exam, you have to pass both parts, practical and theoretical part. Internship is a part of education process. You don't complete your internship with positive grades, you fail and you don't get a diploma. What is also interesting, that internship can be paid. It's not by default paid, but can be paid. So students that are a little bit innovative, they can get their internship paid by the companies, and they're usually quite happy for this. We have lots of field work. So apart from the practical part of the study, of each individual exam, actually, we additionally have field work where students simply get on the bus or on the train. They meet with a professor at a certain location, tourism location, and they have field work at that specific location. And of course, we have field trips, and the final field trip actually going abroad for both master and bachelor students. We are a very enthusiastic faculty. Our staff is extremely friendly. As I mentioned, we have an excellent student to faculty ratio, 10 to 1. We have a young team of professors, meaning that we are taking personal care of each individual student. Our policy is nobody is left behind. We're offering 2 programs in tourism. The first one is Bachelor of Tourism. It takes 3 years, 6 semesters. The tuition fee is 3,500 euros per year and covers only the basic costs. So the field trips, study literature, and everything else is extra. I mentioned the practical orientation of the studies. You get 420 hours of practice, meaning student work placement, 2 months. So basically, you can work for 2 months and a little bit and get paid for it. So you can fully get paid for what you're doing. So you get paid for actually studying, can get paid for actually studying. What is our faculty known for? We are known for giving our students very broad knowledge of tourism. So we're not the hotel school, meaning that we do give our students the basic idea how to run a hotel. Don't worry about that. But we are talking about tourism of 21st century, which areas are currently hot topics. It's the spa or wellness area. It's the hospitality by itself. It's sports and cultural heritage tourism, and it's about rural development. The times of over tourism in big cities is over. So we're talking about real topics of tourism of the 21st century. We have 3 pillars in our study program. Digital. So we enable our students to understand what digital is all about. So how to prepare tourists to become digital and how to prepare digital tourist offer. Then we are talking about destination management a lot. So how to manage the whole destination, not just a hotel, which is just one of possible destinations, but we're talking about destination management in general. And we give a lot of emphasis on how to create experiences. The curriculum is here in the link. I'll share the link later on with you in the chat window. The second study program we are offering you is the Master of Tourism, which takes 2 years, again, 120 European credit transfer systems points. The tuition fee is again 3,500 euros and covers, as mentioned, only the basic cost of the study. Here we go into digital, sustainable, and healthy. And additionally, Master of Tourism is research oriented. So in principle, our students are able to do the research, real serious research on a specific topic, and then apply their research findings on practical applications. Again, I'll copy paste the link to the curriculum in the chat in the coming minutes. What are the eligibility criteria? So what do we need, what do we expect from you? For first bachelor degree, you just have to have the secondary education completed with the right to enroll to Indian University, which only means that you have to be on the list of accredited secondary boards, which exists in India. We just check it. And we do have the recognized previous studies procedure that we take care of. So it is a little bit of paperwork which is being done by your agent mostly. We expect your fluency in English. The IELTS is required, unfortunately, not from us, but from our government, from the embassy. It's not the university requirement, it's the embassy requirement. 5.5 IELTS minimum. For the master, it's similar. You need to have the completed first level degree at internationally recognized higher education institution. Again, you have the list of accredited universities in India available. We just check it. Again, we have the recognized previous studies procedure. We just check if you have collected enough credits. If you're coming from social sciences, so-called comparable field of study, in principle, it's social sciences. There is no entry exam. If you're coming from science, from medicine, unrelated fields, then we have 2 entry exams that are required. And again, IELTS 5.5 is required. We offer post-landing services. On-campus accommodation is available. Approximately 180 euros per month is the government subsidized fee. Off-campus accommodation sometimes is cheaper than that, not as good quality, because we have new campus buildings, completely new or renovated. So none of our buildings is older than 10 years, either renovated or newly built. And other services are organized or provided, can be provided. For example, airport pickup, but also public transportation is available for these occasions. To summarize, to keep it as short as possible, We are a government and public university. Don't worry, we will not go away. We are backed up by our government. We have been around for decades and we plan to stay around for additional decades. We are not going to go bankrupt as some private institution may go. We have a very modern study program. We have it practically oriented. Internship is a part of a study program and internships can be paid. Language of instruction is, of course, English. Don't worry about that. We do offer in the tuition fee additional languages, German, Italian, and Slovenian. Time to visa up until now, including COVID times, which is very important, is 3 months maximum. There is a gap allowed. We have no limit on gaps, both bachelor and master level. We simply don't care about the gap. We have a very flexible stayback period. 1 year is minimum stayback. We can, while still you're studying at our university, we can still offer you longer staybacks. It can be extended before graduation. Sometimes we can manage to get it 2 to 3 years. We do it on the individual basis. I'll not go into details how we do it, but it's legal and it's doable. And Slovenia has a very good policy on when you get citizenship or permanent residence. That is 7 years of holding temporary residence. And you as a student get a temporary residence. You don't get a visa, actually, you don't get the student visa, but you get a student temporary residence permit, TRP. So let's calculate. 3 years of bachelor, 1 stayback year, 2 years of master, 1 stayback year, we're talking 7 years. And if you graduate, and of course you have to be fluent in English by that, in Slovenian, our local language, which is not that difficult, in 7 years, you can get your permanent residence status. The working possibilities, there are numerous. Full or part-time work is possible. Up to 3,000 euros per year is tax-free. After that is taxable. We have government-regulated minimum wage for students. Basic insurance is included, and you can just get the list of what is available for work anytime. We have very good connectivity to neighboring countries. Daily buses, trains, planes to Munich, and Berlin to Germany, to Vienna, in Austria, Rome, Venice, Paris, Prague, just anywhere in Europe. We have Erasmus exchange program, meaning you can do parts of your study program in Germany, for example. You just pay the tuition fees at our university, and for 1 full year, you're eligible to go to a German university anytime. That's because we have the ECTS system. We're part of the Erasmus program. And of course, we have career center and counseling. What else might be interesting for you? Yes, additional costs of study. So beyond 3,500, what you have to pay for the tuition fees, I would say around 300 euros per month. Additionally, we are talking about costs of accommodations and living. So not that much, especially comparing to the rest of the Western Europe, or not to mention, for example, United States. It's incomparable. That concludes my presentation. Take good care, stay healthy, and see you soon. Goodbye.